Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, I'm going to be continuing my PvP series, this time looking at the blue team. So last turn, blue team was dealt the Rising Interest event, and blue team wasn't able to pay for it. And as a result, they lost a stage 1 card and immediately pushed them to stage 2. Team Red had planned all of this and hit them with the Coast card. So this is yeah, pretty rough. It's going to be interesting to see what blue team does. So looking at the slow phase, the only thing we have is Earth is going to be using Voracious Growth, and they're going to heal that Blight here on E4. And just like that, we finished the slow phase. We're going to time pass. Voice is going to G2 bottom track, and they're going to put both of their presence on the board. And let's see where they decide. They decide to put their presence in H1 and H6. H1 over here, and as well as H6. Creating that sacred site. And they are going to reclaim 1 using their reclaim on bottom track, and they're going to reclaim Rightful Keening. And now they've successfully entered Voice Reclaim Loop, where you G2 play 1 card, G2 play no cards, and G2 play all of your cards. And they're going to reclaim loop this for the rest of the game, and they're going to tear through that fear deck. Now, hopefully, it's fast enough. Well, we're going to find out if it is. So Earth decides to G2 again, going from bottom track and putting that presence right over here in E5. And they gained another major in classic Earth fashion. They got Sleep, Talons, Sweep, and Angry Bears. They go with Sweep. And honestly, I don't really know what they're looking for here with this major draft. I always open up with the G3 starting. And they've opened up with just G2s, and I guess it probably works because they're on board E and they have sacred sites against everything. But I don't know what major, like, maybe leave in the comments what's a good major that Earth can pick up here that would be better than Jungle Hungers and Melt Earth. I mean, maybe, like, I couldn't even say Vigor because you're lacking all of the Sun cards. I don't know. Well, they grab Sweep into the Sea, and they chose to forget Draw to the Fruit for Earth, which I also thought was an interesting forget because this is the card that I really like. It's Dahan Movement. It has that Earth Plant, but maybe because they have Carapace Land, they're okay with not. They then get a Minor, and they got Absorb Corruption, Savage, Living Energy, and Poison Dew. They did get one of the perfect element cards for their right innate. But unfortunately, this card is just garbage. Like, even on Earth, it's terrible. Well, I shouldn't say terrible. On Earth, it's playable. But on everything else, it's mostly garbage. They go with Living Energy, which is the classic Earth card. It's a Sun Plant card for the right innate, and it's an energy boon. So that's what they went with. I don't blame them. And they decided to play Jungle Hungers and Living Energy. And they decided to take Living Energy for themselves, gaining 2 energy. And let's look at Finder. Finder is going to choose to play, I believe, G2 again, as I'm like scrolling through everything. So Finder is going to go G2 again, placing a presence, getting that 4 energy. Now they'll be able to start playing majors. And they opt to place this presence in land F3. And they're going to play their last 2 cards here. That is it. That is it for the cards that they're playing. Wandering Voice is going to be using the left innate, moving the Incarnate to H7 as well as H6. So they're going to move their Incarnate to here, H7, strifing the city. Then they're going to move their Incarnate to H6, strifing the town, and then pushing the town into H7. And that is via that left innate here that they've done. And they also get to Empower, which allows them to isolate at the Incarnate now. And they're empowering via that left innate. They then have Exhale and Confusion, so 2 fear. And they can right innate here. And We've done this, and we've done everything over here. Now Finder is going to use their innate offer passage, moving 2 Dahan from E1 into F3. And then they're going to use lay paths, which is the left innate, pushing 1 invader. They've opted to push 1 explorer from F3 into F2, building up that land on F2. Oh, and they also get a right innate. They're going to right innate. That's clever, isolating the F1, preventing that sands build and that coastal build. So getting a lot of work done there. Now, Team Red was ruthless to Team Blue this game, and they opted to go with Harvest Bounty, Harvest Dust. And this is the event that they end up getting. And unfortunately, this is why this event is so brutal for non-defensive spirits, is exactly what's going to happen here. They're going to pick lands with buildings, and they're just going to ravage there. And if you're defensive spirit, you have a defend, so this just doesn't do anything. But with these fast tempo spirits, you just have to take Blight. This card is going to cause them 3 Blight. Yeah, so that's what happens. So Earth chooses here, Harvest Bounty, blights that land. They then chose H7, blighting that. And then they chose, I believe they choose here on F7 as well. Yes, they do. They choose F7. So those were their 3 ravages. We then have Explorer's Blunder, so we could kill a bunch of Explorers. Goodbye, Explorers. Goodbye, Explorers. Goodbye, Explorers. That was it. So that was... Oh, and then they have Coordinated Strikes, doing 2 damage here. And giving a nice defend 2 there. And actually, there's a slight error. I just checked. When they did the Finder left innate, they actually pushed an Explorer into here instead. So there should be a town, so they'll be able to trade there. So yeah, that is what that event is. So now we're going to see our first Blighted on the channel. So let's go through this. So Sands will build first. We're going to build here. We're going to build here. We're going to build here, here, and here. And we're isolated, so there's no build that happens on F1. We are then going to Wetland Ravage. We Blight here. We'll Ravage here. We Blight here. Normally there would be a Cascade, but HME1, which causes an upgrade here. And then there's going to be a Blight here, and they told us to upgrade in H7. What I was told. 2, 4, 6. Okay, so this is now a lost condition for Habsburg Mining. 2, 4, 6, 8. So they need to disrupt this land before next turn. I mean, I think they can. The right innate is about to trigger, and that's going to kill a bunch of buildings here. But that is that. Oh, and then that also ravages. So, okay, so Blighted. So how the rules work for going Blighted is I'm going to shuffle together all of the blights, 2 blight per player, 3 blight per player, 4 and 5, and then 1 is dealt to the defending team. Defending team ravages, and then or not ravages. The defending team bans one of those, and then the opposition will pick one of them. I already told the team which blight card they would have gotten if they randomed, and it was Unnatural Proliferation. Unfortunately, they don't get this card. They will get one of the cards that is randomized. So let me flip up the cards that were. So I threw together all of the healthies and the 2 blight for players. I then threw together all of the 4s and 5s. I'm just going to grab the ones that were randomized and shown to the players to make life easier. So this was our 1/2 blight per player. This was our 3. This was our 5. And I forgot what the 4 was because they banned it. Let me see. And it looks like it was Power Corrode. So it was Power Corrode. So these were the 4 blight cards that were dealt to the defending team here. Put those back. And so this is banned. And Team Red decided to give them the Still Healthy here. So this will be their blight card here. And I will put that right here. That's here. Lock this. So it says now in each invader phase, each spirit with at least 2 presence destroys a presence. So this is going to kill a bunch of presence. And Earth is opted to destroy the presence here on F7 or E7. Wandering Voice opts to destroy the presence in H5. And Finder is destroying the presence in E8. So these are the presence that were destroyed from this event. And none of them have decided to discard for energy. Okay, so we did all of our wetland ravages. Now we do our coast build, and I think they might have forgotten because usually when you play HME, you don't play with the coast card, but this coast card is going to cause ravages in mining lands. So let's start off over here. We have a build here. This is a mining land, so this ravage is killing the Dahan. That builds. This is going to build. This is going to ravage. This will build, and because it would normally cascade, it's going to be an upgrade. So it upgrades like that. That is what they decided how they would like to upgrade here. That is that. They now need to do their HME upgrades. And it looks like Earth is going to upgrade in E1 over here. And where is Finder is upgrading in F4. And Wandering Voice. Where is Wandering Voice going to upgrade? Actually, I think the upgrade is forced. It has to be in H7. I know they're not here. I was scouring through the information. I can't seem to find it. But if they upgrade here, they actually lose to England escalation. So I'm certain they're going to upgrade here. And I'm going to upgrade the Strifed Explorer. I think that's what they'll do. And if they change their mind, they can change their mind. Okay, so that is their HME 3, and their Explore is going to be the mountains. Explore mountain here. And they need to England escalate, so they need to escalate here into H2. They will then need to build here in F6. That should be a town. And then they need to build, looks like they have 2 lands with 4 buildings. Check. Okay, so pause the video, and actually, I did the HME Ravage here from HME 1. I also did the build, so the build should not occur. It should just have 2 towns and a city, which means the disease will be the target for the escalation, and that would just eat the disease. This is what I get for working 11 hours and then trying to run 2 games simultaneously after. Okay, so we have the board. It's all done. Let's look at the events here. So this will be the next set of the event pool. It will be these 2 sets of events, and we'll flip these up because these can no longer be picked. We have accumulated devastation, local diaspora, investigations, putting down roots, stricken, years of little rain, cultural asim, tight-knit communities, ethereal conjunction, far off, and visions. This cultural asim is pretty spicy because that reckless offense can cause instant blight. This will be interesting to see. They also have all of the events up here to pick from, so it's a huge pool of events. I'm gonna be honest, guys. This looks devastating. I don't know how Team Blue is going to come back from this. Like this is a HME loss condition 2468. This is a 2468. This is a double HME loss condition, so they need to get rid of 2 things here. It's also threatening to build from the escalation, so it's also threatening to be a an England loss condition. And then on top of all of that, they're going to be taking a ton of blight from the coast because almost their entire coast is ravaging. And then mountain mining lands are going to ravage, which means this will ravage and that will also ravage again. and then they have another stage 2 coming. Like this just oh, and then also they're like the lose presence here, and then they're gonna flip and go blighted again. So I don't know. This just looks so difficult. It'll be interesting to see what happens. They do got some tons of slow. They do have Jungle Hungers. They have the right innate on Wandering Voice, so they can do some stuff here. And also Finder's reclaiming next turn with a single card play. Like this is probably the worst turn in the game to reclaim, but yet they have to because they have no cards. Um, yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe for more content. I will see you guys in the next